on it first. Mayor Tory to speak.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. Sadly, over the past year, we've lost 3 members of Toronto City Council, Pam McConnell, Ron Moser, and former Mayor Rob Ford. And I move this motion to further the process of naming something in our city for each of them. And I realize that there is some debate in some quarters about naming things after people who are holding public office, but I believe in the case of these 3 people, they all served lengthy periods of time in public office, and so the matter of considering such a possibility is entirely proper in these 3 cases. They served for very long periods of time. I will address most of my comments this evening to the recommendation in respect of Rob Ford. The proposal to name the stadium at Centennial Park after former Mayor Rob Ford came at the request of the Ford family following an earlier public consultation process in respect of a park, which in fact I think was suggested by a citizen. As members of council know, Rob Ford was elected as the mayor of this city, died while sitting as an elected member of City Council, where he served a total of 12 years as a city councillor, plus the 4 years that he served as mayor. In all of my actions as mayor, and I think people would find it difficult to cite examples otherwise, I try to be generous, to put politics to the side and to do what seems right. I think most of us do most of the time. It's often been a challenging course in a big city, which by definition contains many different groups of people who have different opinions about what the right thing to do would be. And so I told the Ford family, specifically via Rob's mother, Diane Ford, that I would honour their request, which had been made known to me in a number of different ways, by putting a motion forward to council. And it really was within that practice of erring on the side of generosity, and because of the fact, or at least aided by the fact, that I was clearly in possession of the wishes of the Ford family. I also understand, of course, and it really goes with what I was saying, because I guess the council is a microcosm of the population of the city, and there are going to be differing opinions and perspectives among the public and some members of council, and some of you and some members of the public have asked legitimate questions about the very matter of how things should be named in our city and for whom. Mayor Ford had his supporters, those who felt heard and represented and helped by him. This includes many kids who played football, who would feel that he helped them and that he heard them, hence the suggestion of the naming of a football stadium in the very community that he represented. But I also recognize the fact we cannot erase history or gloss over very difficult parts of our city's past, and I know that some of the former mayor's actions and comments while in office were hurtful and disrespectful to some, and inconsistent with the expectations that go with the office that he held. Everybody as mayor, including me, swears to uphold the integrity of the office, and I understand the responsibility that we have as leaders here, especially us, to ensure that all of our citizens are respected and represented and included at all times. I will say that I believe very strongly that the divisive era of city politics in Toronto is now over, and that we are here to represent our residents' interests and their wishes and the best interests, most importantly, of the city as a whole. As I have said publicly, that is why I erred on the side of generosity in bringing this proposal forward, because I believe the era of division in the city was over, as it should be over. But in the same spirit of trying to minimize division, I'm simply standing in my place, Madam Speaker, to encourage each member of this City Council to vote on this motion based on their own assessment of what they think is right and what they believe their residents would wish them to do. To let the people of Toronto, their representatives and their perspectives guide the decision. I have honoured my own commitment to the Ford family, and I've done it in a very genuine way, and I do it in particular with regard to the conversation that I had with Mrs. Diane Ford, Rob's mother, just as I do the same with respect to conversations I've had with people representing the families of Pam McConnell and Ron Moser, so that we could put these matters for consideration of the council. I will support all elements of this recommendation, recognizing, as with most things here, it's now a decision we all make together, collectively, on behalf of the people that we represent. And of course, I will respect that decision, as you respect all decisions that are made in this chamber. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Recommendation 1 does not carry. The vote is 11 to 24.